Conservative New Media viewers, this is Paul F. Villarreal, aka PFV, and we're here to break down very quickly what happened in tonight's 2015 Fox News GOP Republican candidate debate. It was the first debate heading into the 2016 election. I'll tell you that JDV, my brother, John D. Villarreal, wanted to do a reaction video, but he can't, and that's because his internet is down right now where he is at. So let me just run over this really quickly. I don't want to say too much about all the candidates because there's simply too many candidates. There were 10 candidates that debated on stage tonight, and most of them were not going to be a factor in the race. So I'm only going to mention a couple people. So let's take a few people out right now. Mike Huckabee, Dr. Ben Carson, Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio, Rand Paul, Chris Christie, and John Kasich. Let me just quick thoughts on them. Kasich was competent. He was fine. Christie, the same. Nothing special there. Rand Paul attacked Donald Trump a few times. I don't think there was anything in particularly great or strong about Rand Paul. I know that won't please his internet supporters. I just don't think Rand Paul is going to be a factor down the stretch in this primary. Marco Rubio, I think Marco Rubio, along with Carly Fiorina, has a great chance to end up as the vice presidential candidate. I don't think Marco or Carly Fiorina will be the presidential candidate. Rubio had some very good moments. He's a good speaker, presented himself well. I thought he did a pretty good job. Ted Cruz was fine. Ted Cruz's voice, I hate to put it like this, but it's just not a deep, powerful voice, which doesn't come across particularly well, at least to me as a listener. Ted had some good statements. I thought he kind of picked up a little bit on the Donald Trump anti-Washington stuff. I thought that was good. I don't think that Senator Cruz will be a factor down the stretch of this race. I'm positive Dr. Ben Carson won't be. Doctor had a number of good moments himself. Mike Huckabee's not going to have any real effect on this race. I don't think anybody will disagree with me on that. So that leaves three people to talk about. That is Governor Scott Walker of Wisconsin, Governor Jeb Bush of Florida, or former governor, and Donald Trump, who I believe is leading the polls right now. First of all, let's talk about Governor Bush. He was better than I thought he was going to be. I heard that he lost 40 pounds or something like this. He has a good tan. He's a pretty tall guy. He acquitted himself well. As I said, he did better than I thought he was going to do. Has a strong presence. He has a good voice. What his tactic was tonight was to continue to bring up his experience, which he should do. And he had a good command of factoids, like such and so percentage, and we did this, and such and so millions of dollars. He did a good job with that. So he certainly showed himself to be a competent, I don't know what you want to call it, a competent taskmaster or something like this, a competent politician, executive. Maybe that's the way to put it. There still isn't a lot of spark or juice, if you want to use that term, to Governor Bush. He still has to fight off the dynasty and the associations with his brother and with his father. He did some of that. I thought he did overall better than I thought he was going to do. He did come off better than what I thought he was going to come off. So I will give him that. So I think he definitely acquitted himself well. I don't know how much he'll gain or lose. I think he might gain with people who didn't know him at all or just think that he's just the brother and son of other Bushes. Governor Scott Walker did phenomenal in this debate, in my opinion. He's so understated. He just kind of slides in under the radar. He had the light blue tie. He's very calm, very placid, but I thought he had terrific answers. He's a rock star among conservatives and Republicans because he is the one man or one of the only people who has taken on the left or far left or whatever you want to call it kind of syndicate and won. of course, in Wisconsin when there was a bunch of forces allied against him. And he was able to win in that state 3 times, I believe. So he is a proven winner against whatever you want to say, the Obama Democratic machine or whatever it is. I thought he was fantastic. And people who don't know him, this should really raise him up. I don't know exactly what his percentages are in the polls right now. I don't know how high he can get. I don't know if he can really be a factor in this race, but I thought he did a very good job tonight. Finally, Donald Trump. He wasn't perfect, okay? But that's part of his approach. He's not supposed to be perfect. He's not supposed to be a polished politician. That's part of his whole reason for running or his whole appeal. So you're not going to get a 20-second soundbite answer from Donald Trump. That's not what he does. However, within saying that, I thought he handled himself well. I thought he had some tough questions that were served up to him. I thought he answered questions about his tone and about his presence in the race. I thought that Donald Trump did what he needed to do in this race as the front runner in the race, which is he needed to be on the same stage with Jeb Bush and the other candidates, not mess up or guck it all up. He definitely didn't do that. Look presidential, and he did that. Now, if I were running his campaign, I'd probably tighten him up a little bit on some of the messages and some of the answers. But I thought overall he kept to the themes that have gotten him this far. Ruling class, the political class in Washington, they're incompetent. They're not doing it right on both sides. And I thought one of the best answers was when they asked him about his giving donations to different candidates and maybe getting something back for that. He said, look, I've given money to almost all the candidates, people that are up here, and I expected this back, and that's how it works. Words, that's his whole critique of the system. The system is broken. And if you're going to have people who are beholden to donors and to money, then why don't you have somebody who's worth apparently $10 billion himself, who you would imagine would be immune to that? They don't need any more money. They're not going to be running side deals on their private government servers for money because he doesn't need any more money. So that's my quick take. See what you say in the comments below. It's again, John JDV would have commented. He can't right now. His internet is down. So this is Paul F. Villarreal filling in for that. Or actually, of course, I do plenty of political stuff as well. We haven't done as much of that recently. That is our take on this first debate between the 2016 GOP candidates, at least the top 10 of them in terms of polling right now. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Your comments below. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Thanks for watching Conservative New Media. Hope that you enjoyed this first debate. If you're new to these candidates, hope that you got a kind of a feel for them and what they bring to the table. Take care. We will talk to you again soon, and look for your comments below.